Hello, salutations. What it do? It's Sadot the Gamer, all for the direct game, no vibes like subscribe. Let's get it. Welcome once again to the AfterShow Podcast. I'm so glad to have you all joining us once again when it is almost Christmas. We're getting really close to that special holiday season. Uh, Once again, Casual Avenger could not be here. It is particularly cold over in Chicago, so he is huddled up in his room eating some deep dish pizza, trying to keep from freezing to death. So we wish him the absolute best. But even though he's not Casual Avenger, he's not bad. We got a
Am I not though?
We're pretty confident you're not.
I don't know. I think I might be.
So,
Sometimes.
you don't. It's the voice. You don't have the voice.
Fair enough. Anyway, yeah, I guess that's me. Sup?
Yeah, Mr. Professional Broadcaster, how you doing?
Sometimes the most professional broadcast is the one that starts off like this.
Sure. I mean that's what you tune in for every week. This next level professionalism. What's up to the chat? We got Eastwood beat Capte. Capte isn't even here yet, but he was here. Well, he was in my stream earlier. I was streaming a little bit of the closed beta for Skull and Bones. So we
gotta download that.
They sent me the code, and then when I downloaded it tried to download it, it kept giving me an error message, and then I realized, I have to all I have to do is just download a previous version that I somehow had on my system already. So
that's how it goes.
Yeah, that's how it goes. So what's up, Simple J? We got Marvel. We got Arkham. Appreciate you hanging out. We are streaming currently on YouTube, Twitch, and X, formerly known as Twitter, which I will always refer to as Twitter because
I was going to say still known as Twitter. I ain't calling it X. I'm never calling it X.
90% of people still call it Twitter, so that's what we're going to do. So, what's up, Official Spider-Man? So, depending on whatever you're watching us on, make sure you drop a follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Drop bits, whatever the kids are doing these days. Sorry if you're on Twitch. Sorry, we're not going to be topless during the stream. We're not joining the meta. But so
but are we not going to be though?
We're definitely not going to. Okay. No one wants to see that.
I agree. I don't even want to see me.
Yeah, 100% not happening. But even though none of us are going to be topless today, we do have some spicy topics to hit on. We're going to be talking a little of that awful ransomware attack that hit Insomniac. We got some disturbing updates on Captain America 4 that could be good depending on how you want to spin it. The Jonathan Majors trial is just all over the place. I'm probably gonna wait till it's done. But we can also get into a little of this Spider-Man stuff because Insomniac recently had a Spider-Man 2 update, and there was some recent beef between several fan bases involving Spider-Man as well. So we're gonna get that, and also wanted to talk a little bit about since we weren't here when it was happening the day before, officially the biggest scam in the history of gaming.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
It's an all-timer for sure. We're gonna talk about all that. So make sure you drop a like, share, all that good stuff. If you want to become a member over on the YouTube side, !mark join, just a little bit extra to help us out and give you some little perks. So we'll start off with the ransomware attack. This is becoming unfortunately common, particularly in the gaming industry. So I covered this earlier in the week. Pretty big story. Insomniac is hit with a ransomware attack, and it resulted in some leaked information, not just for the games, but employee data was compromised. That they had passports. Reportedly, Yuri Lowenthal, the voice of Peter Parker, was also caught up in some of the documents that they stole. They managed so far to leak some Wolverine screenshots as proof. There was also some documents that leaked a new Insomniac Spider-Man game. that is in the works besides Marvel Spider-Man 3. Overall, unfortunate situation, and I'm not I'm not a I'm not 100% sure, but I'm probably 90% sure that the delay that Insomniac announced had to have something to do with the ransomware attack. But what what do you think of the situation, Jay? This is the second major ransomware attack to hit a studio. Of course, the big one was Rockstar with the big GTA 6 hack, and now it's happening again with Insomniac. What is going on?
I don't know. Well, because it's this entitled gamer attitude, right? That everybody needs to have everything now. They want to have all the information now. And, if you don't tell them, fuck you, like it's just, that's the attitude that so many people have now. And it's insane. And to go to this level, this length, is criminal. And
literally
I
criminal.
I hope that just like what's going to happen to that GTA leaker or hacker, I hope that the book gets thrown at them. Like I believe they will be found. And
Hope a book and a bullet.
yeah,
It's told at them. I really don't have any patience for this sort of thing.
yeah,
Like
Sam.
leaks are one thing. Like somebody working at the company wants to share some stuff or whatever. What cool. I don't like when story spoilers are out there, but some leaks, I don't mind. But when you're just literally just hacking into a company, stealing the private data of employees and selling it to the highest bidder, you're you're not a freedom fighter. You're not doing
No.
it to give the people access to the game they're looking forward to. You're just criminals trying to make money. That's all it is.
Yeah, and like we look at like stuff that Miller does, right? Like Miller
Data
and
mining.
people like him, they data mine. They're going through files that are out there, and you can have feelings about that too. But like that, I feel is a lot different.
Yeah, because he's not breaking the law. He's not the stuff. The information is on a public client.
Yeah,
It's free for anyone to look through if they have the tools and
yeah.
and the know-how.
What?
And Miller in particular is being very ethical about his approach, as you've seen with Suicide Squad. He's got a lot of leaks out there that are really exciting, but he has a hard line that he doesn't want to spoil, plot beats or anything too major, because he understands from the perspective of a fan, like that there are people who obviously want to know some stuff so they understand what's coming. And especially in the case of Suicide Squad, where there's a lot of uncertainty, when you're going into a new live service game. So people want to have an idea of what to expect, if it's worth investing in. And I think Miller did a fantastic job of doing that without spoiling the actual experience. And I think that's an important distinction to draw as well. Whereas these people are literally just scum they're just trying to make money.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not like supporting it in any way. Like I haven't gone out of my way to look at anything. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's only that like small screenshot that they put out anyway, but like I'm not even like acknowledging it personally. I know it's tough, and I know that like listen, I understand that from a fan perspective, the heart wants what it wants. People feel like, oh, you announced this so long ago, you owe me an update, and I don't agree with that, but like I do understand at the fandom level the want, it's just taking it a little bit, like a lot of bit too far.
Very.
And
Someone actually said something similar to that today. They said W hackers Insomniac. That's what Insomniac gets for taking so long. And I'm just like, this is that mentality that
yeah,
makes people hate gamers justifiably.
yeah,
Like Insomniac, because Insomniac, first of all, they're not taking too long. They announced Wolverine in 2021. At the same showcase, they announced Spider-Man 2 the same year that they announced and released Ratchet and Clank. Then they dropped Spider-Man 2 in 2023, and they're reportedly targeting Wolverine for 2024. So it's not like they've been sitting on their hands for 10 years and you
Right.
haven't heard from them. They've been releasing games every few years.
I feel like these like Insomniac fans are just the worst. Like
They
not all of
are.
them.
Obviously, there are some great, but
Yeah.
so many of them
Yeah, like
are
it's on
just
because that's I know
so
another
bad.
story, like, with your super viral tweet, and I had one that was, not quite as viral, of course.
Not
But
even close. Not even close.
I mean, listen, when you have an over 5 million viewed tweet, like that's pretty big, but it's not 40, but like, um,
It's very significant.
yeah, so like it's actively making me dislike even covering Spider-Man, you know? Like it's making me actively not want to like be part of it because they're like there's such a section of them that are just like vile. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the discourse too. Yeah, it's so. I think it's social media a lot of it because
Yeah.
it just poisons everything. Like my whole thing went viral because I responded to an ongoing argument that was happening because Spider-Man fans going into the Game Awards were expecting to just apparently sweep everything because a lot of them were out of touch and had no idea apparently that Baldur's Gate 3 was going to sweep. I mean, I prepared my audience because I've been saying for months, Spider-Man 2 was good. It's not going to be Baldur's Gate 3. It's not going to be Game of the Year. It's just not happening. Like
Yeah.
it's either going to be Tears of the Kingdom or Baldur's Gate 3. But
And
people,
or it could have even been Alan Wake 2, like it was a good year.
it was a good. Let's be honest, it wasn't going to be out of the way too. But but it was
I mean, it could have
definitely
been.
it was definitely going to be Tears of the Kingdom or Baldur's Gate 3. Like Tears of the Kingdom, it's a Nintendo game, so it's got the Nintendo tax. So
I was gonna say it. Like
work in his favor,
whatever
and
Nintendo's
it
big game of the year is, that automatically is in the game of the year
yeah.
like contention. So
If it wasn't Tears of the Kingdom or Baldur's Gate 3, it was going to be Super Mario Wonder.
right.
They're going to find a way.
I mean, they found a way to get Super Mario Wonder an award.
Yeah,
So I mean, yeah,
it was going to happen. But unfortunately, there were a lot of Spider-Man fans who weren't paying attention, weren't even familiar with Baldur's Gate, and they got caught off guard and were wondering how Spider-Man could have possibly lost to this, slow-looking turn-based RPG, and that obviously created a big argument on Twitter. Someone posted a segment from the Sandman boss fight, which objectively
don't
fantastic.
encourage him.
Objectively is looks amazing, and I, as someone responded like, "Hey, I know I didn't play Spider-Man 2 or Baldur's Gate, but can we stop acting like cutscenes are gameplay? It's just
Right.
what does it look like when people are actually playing the game?" So I'm like, all right, cool, here you go. So I put a side by side of Spider-Man 2 gameplay with Baldur's Gate 3 gameplay. So for some reason, a lot of neck beers got triggered. Like it created a whole movement of people. There were a bunch of, even though they shouldn't have been, like they were like, oh, you hate Baldur's Gate 3, you must, oh, it was this whole thing about if you don't like turn based, you're dumb, or people were dunking on Baldur's Gate 3 saying it was a dice roll game and all this other stuff. And meanwhile, Baldur's Gate 3 fans kept getting mad at me, saying they kept getting mad at me for posting comparisons while at the same time demanding that I keep posting comparisons with better Baldur's Gate 3 gameplay. And I'm like,
Yeah,
guys, what are we doing here?
I saw that early in. And I was like, man, this is a mess. I'm out.
Was,
Like I do not envy. I mean, I'm sure it was enjoyable and obviously,
it was
you
hilarious.
know,
Oh yeah.
uh, but I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. It's so funny watching these Spider-Man fans, like get all worked up about like not winning Game of the Year when they fucking hate the game themselves.
Oh, what? Yeah. Let's not even get to that because I get all the comments. So on the one hand, Spider-Man. This is how stupid the Spider-Man community is. On the one hand, you have a bunch of people in the Spider-Man community who are praising Spider-Man 2 as the greatest game, and how could this trash Baldur's Gate 3 possibly win? On the other hand, you have Spider-Man fans saying Spider-Man 2 is woke garbage. I'm never buying a Insomniac game again. And Wolverine is going to be woke, and you're probably going to be playing with a wheelchair character and all sorts of stuff because of one side mission. And even when Insomniac announced that they were delaying the update, there was like, oh, there we go. In 3 months, no new game plus. What? I can't change the weather.
How hard is it to add New Game Plus? Was it the last one?
Not at launch, but they ignore that. Yeah. So my favorite is $70 game. Oh yeah, I can't change the weather. Therefore, it's not worth $70. What the fuck are you talking about? you can
He sold Adidas shoes.
Literally the opening game is a citywide battle against a fucking sand kaiju, and you're mad that you can't make it snow in photo mode. Shut the fuck up, bro. Jesus Christ.
Dude, it's honestly like it's been a bad week for gamer entitlement. Like it's been funny watching Twitter all day, and in my video, Arkham Knight, an 8-year-old video game, by the way, dropped
almost 9.
Dropped a free the Batman Robert Pattinson skin that you just do an update and there it is, you have it.
Yep.
And people are like analyzing every square pixel to see if it's like absolutely perfect and complaining about it.
Oh, I mean, we're as veterans of the Marvel's Avengers era, we're very much used to people complaining about skins.
I even had somebody in my video say, "Oh, they give us a skin, but they didn't give us the car." I'm like, dude, they gave you a free skin on an 8-year-old game. What are you talking about?
An 8-year-old, they could have put it in the store too. They just gave it to you.
Yeah, they just gave it to you. Like, hey, here, have it. You know, we just put the trilogy out on Switch. You know, it works like every other game on Switch, terribly. But have Patman. You know, like.
But the cowl is 2 inches to the right.
But there's a little speck right here where it doesn't match up. Like there are actually people doing that, and it's like, what the hell? Like, what is this?
You could also just not download the update for the 8-year-old, almost 9-year-old game.
Yeah,
you could also just do that.
Like I downloaded because obviously transferring PlayStations and everything, I don't think I transferred my save because the PS4 was my primary console for Arkham Knight. And I looked up my last achievement in Xbox was November 24th, 2015. Like that's the last time I played the game. So like it's been that long, you know what I mean?
I don't have it installed, but that's because I uninstalled it after like the 10th Batmobile mission in a row.
Well, when it came out, yeah, I've actually had a lot of luck with the Arkham games. For Arkham Asylum, my brother was working at Walmart, and one of his coworkers like dropped a couple of them off the truck, and then like just gave it to my brother like a week early. So that happened, and then for Arkham Knight, I pre-ordered they had a special PS4, and I pre-ordered that, and they shipped it to me. Best Buy shipped it to me like 5 days early, and I had it sent to myself at work, so I got it on like the Friday before it came out on a Tuesday. So,
out of curiosity, what's the statute of limitations on items falling off the back of a truck?
Listen, I don't know, but it doesn't matter.
That's where I heard about to reopen people's cases.
Yeah, I got it like third hand, so I think I'm out of that loop.
Maybe, but also maybe they could. I mean, I'm trying to think. Like I'm pretty sure if you acquired uh, a chemical weapon, they wouldn't let you slide because I got a third hand. So
You sound like the typical Spider-Man fan trying to compare a video game being slipped through a couple hands to chemical warfare.
I mean, the it's about the principle, not the not the item itself. Like if the logic holds that you can't be held criminally liable for an item that is acquired third hand, then naturally that would have to apply
Listen, I bought the Arkham collection. I paid money for the
to
game.
listen. I bought this chemical weapon. I was perfectly entitled to get this one from these other.
Well, because when I acquired the chemical weapon, it was legal later. So the time I had it when it wasn't legal is now okay. Sounds justifiable to me.
Well, okay. Well, I'm not a lawyer. It definitely sounds like John Morant and Jonathan Majors might need new ones, but we're not the experts here.
I'm not following that at all. The only thing that I know is that what is it? Like I saw that video of him like
Running around,
like literally running a marathon to get away from her.
running like a slave revolt. Like he was.
You said it, I didn't.
He was out there. The videos have been absolutely hilarious, but yeah, I haven't been involved. I made one video about the case 8 months ago when the arrest first happened. I've been completely out of the loop for the most part on a trial, but some weirdo randomly commented on one of my videos accusing me of judging Jonathan Majors, and now you're saying, oh, now you're quiet now because you don't know the trial is going. I'm like, bro, I literally have no idea who you are. We've never had any communication, and I have never made a video claiming that he was guilty or not of anything. But bro,
And if anything, we've both been like rooting for him to hopefully like get cleared.
Bro was convinced that we had a whole ass conversation where I said Jonathan Majors is definitely guilty and that I was going to be giving updates. I'm like, bro, you need help.
That doesn't sound like you.
No, and I literally pointed him to the video, the only one on the channel where I made about it, where I specifically did not do any things he said. And but it's hard to break through mental illness. So there's nothing to it there. But yeah, I'm just going to wait for the trial, because it sounds crazy. It sounds crazy. Like obviously, it looks like public opinion has shifted dramatically in his favor because of the video, but I'm not sure that means he's completely, off the hook. I mean, it's looking increasingly like he's not going to be found guilty of what he was actually arrested for. But I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean he didn't abuse her. Like they literally read the text messages where it looks like it appears as if he it appeared he definitely in the text messages told her to lie to a doctor about how she sustained a head injury because he, quote, didn't trust her to protect them and was trying to avoid investigations. So
yeah, I read some of that, and
you can interpret that a number of ways.
Yeah,
none of them are good, but
right.
there are levels to how bad. Like obviously the news article in question interpreted it as he beat her and was coaching her in order to avoid an investigation. But the alternative is that she committed self-harm and he was trying to prevent an investigation into that because maybe he didn't want her to get committed, or he didn't want the drama because he's a celebrity and he didn't want to be caught up in all of that. But either way, it sounded like a horrible relationship.
Yeah, it sounds like a terrible relationship, and it sounds like they're both better off for it, like being over.
I mean, he went from her to Megan Good, so he definitely
Yeah.
he definitely made
Yeah, but like
definitely came up.
this just seems like one of those situations where nobody's gonna win. They both seem like they're guilty of doing terrible things to each other, and it should have never gotten to this point, you know?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a kind of a Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation where everyone is just going to pick what side they want to land on,
Right.
and they're going to ignore all evidence that contradicts their position, and
Yeah.
that's just going to be the end of it. But
Yeah.
but
I don't know.
depending on how the trial goes, I'm thinking he'll probably land more on the Johnny Depp side of things, where public opinion is generally just on his side, and maybe the opinions of some of the more, like media outlets are still kind of like, it's tricky because he's a black man, and it's you're not supposed to criticize us like that like it would be for Johnny Depp. So
I'm not trying to.
I mean, like Jay is always trying to press us, so it is a tricky situation. The JayShockblasters of the world. They have to what? Yeah, if it was JayShockblast on trial, it would be very different. Regardless, they could just be like, oh well, he's guilty of something. Look at him. But but with Jonathan Majors, there's more of a desire, to seek forgiveness,
Mm.
even if he is actually a bad person, which many people are saying he is.
I wore a do-rag for you and you do me like this?
I mean, did you wear it or did you awkwardly have it on your head?
Listen, to me, same thing. We can argue that was close enough.
We gotta figure out how to get you to tie it. Jay Crime, bro. Either way, I mean, it wouldn't be any.
Don't make me turn into Prison Mike.
Oh God, no. It wouldn't take much to get rid of Majors. I mean, in the MCU, it's not like there are people lining up waiting for the Kang Dynasty.
Yeah, I mean,
or any MCU project for that matter, except
as
for
it
Deadpool 3.
stands, he is kind of dead.
And also just the nature of the character, Kang, many many variants. You could easily just recast him. This is true in 2023, unfortunately. But that goes into like the kind of the greater issue with the MCU, where it's kind of like it's easy to be cynical because I mean it's been an absolute disaster for Disney, but there are signs that they're at least learning something, like this Captain America 4 story. So before it was kind of like, okay, well, Captain America 4 is good. We're gonna have some minor reshoots, but it's all good. It's all according to plan. And then it went from minor reshoots to, oh, we hired a new writer, and we're going to do like 6 months of reshoots, which is enough to do the entire movie over again. so because it started out as like they were kind of doing damage control. So what apparently happened is they filmed Captain America 4, Captain America New World Order. They showed it to test audiences. Test audiences said it was terrible. and they were like, oh shit, we can't have another The Marvels. So they did a reshoot. So they decided to hire a new writer to just do a few scenes, over the course of 6 months. it's like yeah, that's not a routine reshoot. That's an entire overhaul of the movie. So it's like, on the one hand, it's like, why are you in this situation to begin with? But on the other hand, it's good that at least it seems they're learning, because in the past they would just do what they did with the Marvels and just release the movie. And now, and we see this with Daredevil as well, they got about 4 episodes in and was like, oh, this is just absolute dog shit. Started, fired everyone and started over. So, I mean, I guess the lesson here is get better at the hiring process so you don't have to waste millions of dollars.
Yeah, it's still wild to me that we're doing this thing where, like, you've heard about like the casting rumors around Fantastic Four, right? Like
Yeah, I've heard several. I've heard
female
that
Silver Surfer. Okay.
Silver Surfer is going to be a lady, and the Fantastic Four movie is going to basically have Sue Storm as the main character.
Yeah, so like I just kind of feel like we just need to get people that know the source material and just stick to the source material. I feel like that's all comic book fans are asking for.
Yeah,
Like you can write something original, just understand the characters and don't change everything for the sake of it, you know? Like I don't understand the point of doing a female Silver Surfer if you're already going to have Sue Storm be like, and who knows, this might not even be true, okay? But like if you're just gonna have Sue Storm be the star, why are you race swapping the Silver Surfer? Very specific kind of iconic character, you know? Like,
very, very,
and it's a CGI character basically. So like what's the point? You're not going to like do Silver Surfer scenes like out of his like out of character, right?
you
Like
say that, but this is Marvel.
that's true. That's true. That's true. You're right. And that's I guess that's the dilemma we're in, you know? But like I just don't get it. Like it it's so clear. Like the fans are like, so you're thinking about like the people that are like the fringe, oh, I like to go watch the movies, I like to watch the shows. Like those people are going to be there no matter what. Okay. So why not go after the people that are going to be your biggest advocates, that are the reason why these characters are relevant and are actively available as something that people want to see, and just like follow who they are and not like switch it up. It just doesn't make sense.
Oh, I think it really just comes down to like there are major structural problems at Marvel. Like we recently had the interview with Taika Waititi, where he basically admitted that he actually hates Thor. He doesn't care about the comic at all, and he only took the job because he needed money.
But I could also see that, like, I didn't see the actual statement, but I almost feel like that could have been Taika being Taika and just joking.
Oh, he was quite serious.
Really.
And it's like, I mean, it's not. I mean, it was pretty obvious by just looking at the movies that he didn't take the character particularly seriously, but this just goes to the greater problem at Marvel, where they're not getting creatives that are necessarily passionate about any of any of the properties. They're getting, you got actors mostly there for the paycheck. You got directors there for the paycheck, and even the ones that may like the source material, you have producers who are telling them, oh, well, don't read that, don't look at that. You know?
Yeah, there was actually legitimately like a thing where they're like, no comics on set. Don't read the comics. You know,
Yeah,
like that was a legitimate thing.
yeah. Mom Milani was talking about she literally was sneaking comics on the set because they were like, oh, no, but they were coming to her asking because she was like the only one that knew anything.
And that's the crazy thing about it is you look at someone like Iman Vellani, okay, and how adored she is, even though her character somewhat controversial. Like there are a lot of people that just don't like Kamala Khan, and on top of that, the show was not great, and the movie she was in was not great, but people love her and love her
Yeah,
character. So like that shows you that because she is one of us and because she cares, like that gives her the benefit of the doubt, and that is going to give her next project, some importance. People are going to still care and give it a shot even if the Marvel's tanked.
yeah, for sure. Just make sure that you put Imam Milani in something where it's not ass. like if you had a new Avengers movie where you had Spider-Man and Doctor Strange and actual Hulk, and Amon Vellani, that would be cool. And like she would fit perfectly well in that sort of situation. Like she's a perfect like support character.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I don't know, man. It's just weird. It's just weird that they still don't get it. And like, I feel like the fans have spoken. I feel like it's not just a loud, like,
It's
a
it's
loud
it's worse now.
minority.
It's worse now because it's not even loud. We're at the apathy phase. Like before, it was like people yelling like, "Hey, this sucks! Stop doing this." Now it's like, who cares? Like that's the worst thing you could have. You don't want people at the phase where they just stop caring.
And that's even crazier thing is the fact that like for a lot of people will call it fatigue, and it's not fatigue. It's just they're 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 bad. Like they're not tired. They're not tired of the thing. They're tired of you being bad at the thing. You know?
Like
And there's a difference.
like I said before, there's no such thing as anime fatigue. Like this is probably the most stacked year of anime in recent memory, and I've not heard one person say, "Oh man, this anime fatigue is too much." No one wants to watch this anymore because it's too much. It's like no, because it's good. If you're giving us a bunch of stuff that's good, people are going to want more of the stuff that's good. They're not going to they're not going to say, "Oh, this you got to stop with the high quality content." There's too much. If Marvel was putting out Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War quality content, there would be no superhero fatigue. They would still be making money hand over fist at the box office. But because they're releasing so much mid or just bad content, people are just like no longer interested because it's like, what's the point of getting invested?
Yeah.
What?
Sorry. I
Welcome, High Ruler. Jay spit. Jay, we got Lejeune spitting the truth, of course. Jay. Well, actually, I can't even say Jujutsu Kaisen on top. It is my favorite of the shonen, but it's definitely not my anime of the year. Uh, I don't think it would count. It should count anyway because Jujutsu Kaisen is in season 2 this year, but it's still a season of anime. It's great, fantastic, but not my anime of the year. This has been a pretty crazy year, as Jay has been telling me behind the scenes all the time
yeah,
how
I
much
didn't even know what the hell he was talking about.
yeah, yeah, like the Shibuya incident is absolutely amazing arc, but uh,
Shibuya.
but the anime of the year for me, yeah, there's so much like a Blue-Eyed Samurai, Fearin, Journey's End, Undead Unluck, uh,
Bluey.
um, even the Scott Pilgrim anime,
Paw
Pl-
Patrol.
Pluto. There's just some good night world. There's some absolute fire. Jay's joking, but he was just telling me before we went live that Apothecary Diaries is one of the best shows he's ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it when All Might like grabbed Steve Urkel by the neck and like threw him. I don't know why I went to Steve Urkel.
he just is mixing live action.
Yeah. I was trying to think of Omni Man and I came up with like not even close. Like I started
not even
thinking like
remotely close.
Steve. Yeah. I don't know. I was trying to think of Omni Man and I'm like Steve Urkel. I don't know.
Steve Urkel. Shout out to Family Matters. Shout out to Jalil White.
I watched that show a lot.
What's up? What's up, Novel Flow? You start this. This is the way. I do miss it. That was a great era of television.
You know, are there like English dubs for that show?
For what?
Like Jujutsu Kaisen?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Cuz like here's my thing and I had this conversation with my brother about Godzilla -1. My brother's like a massive Godzilla fan and he was telling me how good Godzilla -1 was.
Everyone's
But
saying it.
yeah, but he says all in Japanese and
I just should be.
I'm fine with people that feel that way, but I don't like subtitles. And you would think that I would because I'm hearing impaired, but I don't because it distracts me. Like I don't want to read. I just want it to like I want to hear it, and I
So,
want it to be in my language.
sounds like a skill issue and
No, it's not. It's not
and
because like
racist and racist.
no, it's really not because like it's I need to hear it. I don't want to like because I don't want to be watching the bottom of the screen like and not being able, that's the way that I feel. You know what I mean?
It's a
So
definite skill issue. I do prefer dubs when I'm eating because that's when it's actually distracting because I'm like because I'm looking down, I don't want to miss the subtitles. But if I'm not eating, I've trained myself where I can read everything and not miss anything.
yeah, it's just I don't want to do it, and I feel like that's reasonable. I'll probably see that at some point. Like I'll get it when it comes out if there's like a steelbook, but my brother's obviously gonna get it,
Of course.
and I have a like a Voodoo account that we both dump all of our digital codes into. So I
I
don't
can
even have to
appreciate.
get it.
I do appreciate when I as someone who wants anime to be accessible to everyone, and just general foreign content because I think it's superior right now to the Western content. I definitely appreciate a good dub, and usually, especially if it's on, especially Netflix stuff, there's usually high quality dub. Like some of the top anime this year are pretty much all on Netflix, and they all have very high quality English dubs to go along with them.
Yeah, and here's the thing, like I don't think anybody owes it to me. Like that's their thing, and if that's how they do it, that's how they do it, and that's fine. If I want to watch it, I'll just have to deal with it. Like, but I have my preference, and I know that it's frowned upon in the anime world, but like
Mm.
that's the way that I
Uh,
want to see it, you
It,
know?
realistically, it was like a thing maybe like 15 years ago. Now people don't care, and that's because mainly dubs used to be just absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
Like there was a time when watching an English dub of an anime was the equivalent of going to the house of the original creator and pissing in their mouth. But now the quality is substantially better. So it's not really a big deal anymore. You can enjoy it either way. Some animes have better dubs than others. Uh, I can I can vouch Jujutsu Kaisen has a very high quality dub, though the English voice actors were not getting high quality paychecks, at least not for the movie.
I feel like I from going to a lot of like different conventions, I feel like the same people do a character in like every show
Yeah,
for like the English voice actors.
yeah, that's usually like if you listen to enough anime, you'll immediately recognize Chris Sabat's voice
Yeah.
because he's in everything. It's
There's
kind of
another one, whoever is the English voice actor for the main dude in Demon Slayer. I can't think of his name, but whenever I see him listed, there's like 40 other like
yeah.
shows under it.
It's kind of like that in video game voice acting too. Like
Yeah, like
like Troy Baker is going to be on. Odds are on every new on at least one new game every few months.
yeah, pretty much every AAA game is gonna have one of like the critical role people.
Yeah, it's just inevitable. There's Laura Bailey again. Okay, you know, yes,
You know what's funny is the girl that did Ellie in The Last of Us. Oh, what's her name? Shoot, I can't think of her name.
how, d-
She was
how dare you? That was your favorite game,
yeah. God,
especially Last of Us Two.
Williams. What?
Especially Last of Us Two. Is your
Yeah,
favorite? Say that was your favorite of all time.
Ellie in uh
Ashley Johnson.
yeah, Ashley Johnson. So it's funny, going back to Lego Marvel superheroes, they put
We went back to that.
oh yes, we're going back to that. All right. Or I'm sorry, it was actually Lego Marvel's Avengers. Lego Marvel's Avengers is a little controversial because there were no X-Men and no Spider-Man characters. That's when they were like deep in the heart of the fight with Fox.
Right.
And there was actually a minifig for a character Beth the Waitress. And we all made jokes about how she was the number one character in the game, best character. And it's the waitress at the end of the Avengers that I think Captain America saves, and that's actually Ashley Johnson.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of funny how it all worked out.
It's all connected, like
Yeah,
Kevin Feige says.
that was like the whole point of the story right there.
Well,
So
I'm so glad I let you tell it. I
yeah,
mean, I mean,
let me.
this yeah let you. This is why JayShockblast is a professional, folks. You know, you didn't know where it's going.
That was a very interesting story.
It got there in the end. Yeah. For sure. I appreciate it. He is a master. He is a master at this. He is a masturbator.
Anyway,
Anyway, do you have any more incredible stories
no, that was the only one I
about
had
voice
left.
actors?
No, well, I mean, I was only thinking of it because like she's one of those critical role people, right? Like she's with,
Right.
you know, all of them. I don't know their name, Matt Mercer and uh, all those people that are in like literally every game.
Oh yeah, of course, of course. And who's your favorite among them?
I don't care.
Which one of them was Thor? Troy Baker?
I don't care.
Yeah.
So,
Notice whenever he hits me with that, it's like after he asked me.
yeah, that's it's the setup, and
I don't care.
that's the punch.
Yeah, it's called you being the masturbator.
I mean, I'm here. Someone's got to operate the audio. Keep it fresh. But no, we do appreciate the voice actors. I'm glad they didn't end up going on strike.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a whole thing for a while. People, funny we were worried about the strike, and now we got worried about delays because of ransomware attacks. Like it's just like gaming cannot catch a break, especially with the layoffs. What were we up? Last I heard, we were up to 10,000 lost jobs.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was just looking for I had a Funko Pop sitting right here. We were talking about
You have a
voice
Funko Pop
actors.
sitting everywhere.
Yeah, I know that's true. But the one specifically that I was looking for was the Iron Man from Marvel's Avengers that I just had signed by Nolan North because we were talking about voice actors.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't have the Funko, but I do have
Still sealed. Dude, my GameStop has one of those that they're still selling for full price.
I got this on sale on Amazon, so
Yeah.
I'm keeping it as a collector's edition. It might be worth something one day when Marvel's Avengers 2 comes out, or it just might end up just being something where people are just going to realize years later, you know what? Maybe we're too hard on Marvel's Avengers.
Right.
It's actually a classic. Maybe after a few failed attempts at a multiplayer Marvel game, they're gonna be like, you know what? Marvel's Avengers maybe wasn't too bad. And then I'll be sitting on the gold mine right here. There. Honestly though, I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3. And
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah, I ended up getting, yes. Thanks for reading my tweet.
Dude, Twitter sucks. Like I don't see anybody's tweets anymore.
Well, now you should because I got the blue check. But
there you go.
But I decided to do a free trial because Baldur's Gate is right there, sitting right there in the PlayStation Premium free trial, 2 hours. So I'm like, why not? So I did the trial, liked it enough to buy the full game, and I've been playing it. I was just thinking, if we could just have like a proper superhero MMO with like this type of like story, character development, detail, but with like good combat, like and I say that combat that more appeals to me, like high level real time combat, because but I don't mind the turn based combat, if it's depending on how it is. Baldur's Gate 3 doesn't particularly appeal to me. Midnight Suns I thought was great, so it depends, but preferably like real time combat in the style Marvel's Avengers. I thought did over a really good job with the combat, the hero kits, and everything like that. If we can take that and put it with Baldur's Gate 3's world building, the character interactions, I think that would be great. I don't think Marvel would do it because but I feel like DC would be edgy enough to try something like that.
I believe there's a really decent chance that Rocksteady's about to do something of that nature.
You mean like
with Suicide Squad?
Oh, you mean with Suicide? Well, it's not going to be like that. We've heard a lot about Suicide Squad. You because you're a shareholder on the board at WB. Me because I'm good friends with Miller. So you're flexing your Suicide Squad bottle there.
I don't know
But
what you're talking about.
I don't. Yeah, I was thinking more of like the the kind of RPG MMO element style to it. But yeah, Suicide Squad definitely looks like is going to surprise people. Like I thought, okay, this will have a nice little decent story, maybe some decent end game stuff, and then we'll have playable characters coming in periodically. But the stuff Miller showed me, the amount of just the variety that's planned is actually insane.
Yeah, I'm kind of mixed on, like, I've been trying not to, like, I can't cover Miller's stuff. I just can't. I can't do it. It's nothing against him, of course. It's just I work very closely with WB, obviously, and yeah. I mean, I don't get. I don't have any duffel bags of money. I just have a duffel bag from Mortal Kombat that had an hourglass in it. That's it.
I need to add allegedly to the soundboard.
Allegedly, there we go. But like, obviously, like, I'm not going to cover leaks, and I'd love to, trust me, Lejeune knows what I mean. It's just one of those things, but I will say that, like, I see it, we've all got the group chat and everything, and I definitely see it, and I'm excited. I'm really excited for people to like I said let me reset. I have said,
don't break your NDA.
Not to anybody in particular, but I have said to people that may care about it that it almost as if the NDA did the game a little bit of a disservice, because from what I've read from people behind closed doors have said about the game, certainly not me,
of course,
and not you either.
Of course not. I've never even played it. I don't even know. I don't even know what game we're talking about.
That's fair. It seems pretty overwhelmingly positive. I haven't seen many people say a lot of negative stuff. And if they were able to actively talk about it a little bit more, like I saw Bob Duck and Weave tweet something today, right? Like, man, go ahead and come out with a public beta already so I could talk about like how great everything is, or how much you know what I mean? Like, soon enough, we're almost there. But like,
did JayShockblast just confirm a public beta?
No. I don't know anything about a public
breaking news.
No. I'm purely going off of that tweet. Anyway, oh man, Cap Tay's got a lot of caps. Yeah. No, I don't know anything about that. It would be great if there was one.
The ops are looking for it as we speak.
Right. Yeah. So
WB.
And when this video disappears tomorrow,
you'll know why.
No, like obviously we're playing that game where we all dance around it, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, like, it's just, I think, and I hope I'm not projecting. I hope I'm not getting caught up in, the excitement of it all. But like, I think that it's gonna do a lot better than people are expecting, and I think that it's gonna be that game that people, where there is enough, to carry it.
What Marvel's Avengers didn't end up achieving? You think it'll be that?
Yeah, because the biggest problem that The biggest problem that Marvel's Avengers had was that they couldn't keep up with the content. If they could have kept up with the content and released things at a little bit of a, a good pace, I think it would still be going fine like right now, you know what I mean? Because like the people that played it played the death out of it with what they had and never went away. You know what I mean?
Unfortunately, they had no money. They had,
Right.
they had a lead dev who was unceremoniously booted due to tweets that came to light, and
just generally being a bad guy.
yeah, and specifically an undisclosed incident that may or may not have been violent that occurred right after they came back from break. So there was a lot of stuff working against Avengers, but yeah, the idea was that people wanted just this multiplayer superhero experience where they can gather around with their friends and just basically play forever if they wanted to. They always could come back to something, and I definitely see that in Suicide Squad. Obviously I'm not on the payroll of WB, but based on what Miller has publicly talked about, I'm not going to talk about the private stuff because that's big, that's other stuff, but just just what we've seen publicly, like the basic stuff, obviously being in a proper engine, the cross play, alleged raid, the alleged horde mode, basically you could just take a bingo card of things that fans were asking for in Marvel's Avengers at some point, and Suicide Squad is doing it.
Yeah. And from what I've heard Miller say is like they've buried the lead. There's like stuff they haven't even said yet that is gonna be in the game. And this is based off what Miller said, not anything I know. I want to make sure I clarify that.
I want to make sure I clarify. I know exactly what he's talking about. Miller showed me it.
Like there's stuff that like they haven't even like brought out the big guns yet.
Not even close.
But like the community and like the internet and the Twitter and the X and the freaking loser mentality of gamers right now is that like attack, at every possible step,
And I definitely do agree that's where the NDA came into play and kind of worked against them, because right now there's basically no hype, because like the people who care about Suicide Squad, the people who participated, may or not participated in the closed alpha, the ones that are following the game, they're getting more and more excited because they're seeing, especially if they're following Miller, but largely since they've gone kind of dark, no one's really talking about it, good or bad. The Insider episode definitely won a lot more people over because it was more well received. But they did a little trailer at the Game Awards, but they didn't advertise the fact that the game was going to be featuring an offline mode. They didn't promote that at the Game Awards, even when they had a trailer at the Game Awards.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, I still can't believe they did that, and they haven't had a second episode yet. And it's looking increased. They've been releasing like small trailers here and there, but onto the YouTube, but it's nothing really substantial. And because people are restricted to talking about the closed alpha, you're not getting the type of chatter you typically would, because the content creators can't say anything. They gotta dance. You got to dance. They got to dance around it.
I did promise on Twitter you were going to do an Irish jig.
You definitely should not have promised that. And you thought I was going to do an Irish jig?
Yeah, why not?
An Irish jig?
Yeah.
Did you take a stupid pill with your breakfast this morning?
Maybe.
Yeah, if you tuned in for the Irish jig, you're not getting that. I don't even get sturdy. I'm definitely not doing the Irish jig. You trust? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the amount of people who immediately turn on Rocksteady, It just shows just the lack of loyalty gamers have these
I
days.
mean, I understand a little bit of it though. Like, I mean, all right, so no, let me take that back. I don't understand turning on them, but I do understand the optics of like a lot of big people left, you know?
Yeah, the optics were definitely bad, but it's like they were like, oh, Rocksteady suddenly like but it just for me underscored how little loyalty the public just ever has. Like it doesn't matter how much goodwill you build up, they will always turn on you at the drop of a dime. And it's just kind of it's just kind of a kind of a black pill moment where it's just like, oh, people just fundamentally just suck. And it doesn't matter how much, like you're still gonna have your supporters, but they're gonna be a sizable amount of people who were supporters who are just going to be like, immediately we're going to flip and turn around if you even try to be different. Like I'm just thinking of the alleged Insomniac game. Like if they announced that was multiplayer, I'm just thinking of how, like they've already already have a bunch of bitter Spider-Man fans that have turned on Insomniac because there was a side mission where a gay person existed. I'm just imagining how
And a deaf black girl did some art.
Yeah, I'm just imagining how much of a meltdown it would be if Insomniac ever tried to make a live service game or just a multiplayer game in general, even if it wasn't live service. Like it would just immediately be a flip of, oh, here we go, where's the battle pass or services, and it would just be just endless nonsense.
Yeah, and then it would come out and it would be great, and everybody would be like, I knew they could do it all along. Game of the year.
Yeah, and then they're going to argue with Baldur's Gate 4 fans
Yeah.
about why it should be game. It's just not always nonsense. Like I very vividly remember all the hate Spider-Man PS4 got, and now people are acting like it's the greatest game of all time, and it's a masterpiece compared to Spider-Man 2. It's like, come on.
Remember when the suit came out and like everybody hated it?
Yeah,
The white spider.
people
Everybody
hated the
it.
Insomniac. They hated the advanced suit.
Yeah, and like it's funny because like the same thing happened with Miles' suit, and I don't disagree. Like I've never said that like that suit was like the best. I don't like the whole, showing his hair thing. I don't like, I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of people agree that if it was just a full mask and he could put the hood up, that it would have been great,
Yeah, I like Rock Rider's remix of it.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
it's the black. He changed the color scheme to black and red and put the hood up, and I thought it looked fantastic.
Yeah, like I just, but like people like I feel like the way that people reacted to that suit, especially after like just suddenly realizing that Adidas had some gear for it, like, oh my god, they made some money, like the gear that was sold out before the game even came out.
I don't think it was like a lot of issues that these broken gamers have. I think it was more than just about the suit itself. I think it was just the fact that there were a bunch of people who in the community who just didn't want Miles in the game at all, and they were mad that he was getting any spotlight whatsoever, and they were just looking for some kind of reason to blow it up, because Miles undeniably was great in the game. His character, the performance of Najee was great. He didn't get most of his side missions weren't anything special except for his Black Cat and the Mysterio mission chains were standing out. But he was really fun. He was a great part of the game, and that made them mad. So they were looking for some reason to say, no, we have to justify our hatred of Miles, and they ended up latching on to the two side missions, and Peter, expressing self-doubt about the city needing him, and the Adidas suit. Like that's the best they could find.
Yeah, and I don't actually feel only because my tweet was about that suit in particular. Like, I just feel like a lot of people can't handle the fact that there was an ad in a video, a real ad. You can only have fake ads in the video game. The same people who absolutely loved his Nike shoes in the Spider-Verse movies.
Yeah, product placement is everywhere.
Yeah,
like
I'll put it to you this way. Ever since I played Spider-Man 2, I suddenly get emails like daily from Warby Parker.
really, I haven't gotten any, and they literally sent me the sunglasses. So
Yeah, I've never done anything involving them, and I'm getting emails from them like every day, and I have no idea why. So like, maybe I didn't check the right box when I was logging in the first time, to like not be sent ads from their partners. But like, I actually think it's cool that there's an actual Adidas store. Like, I've actually said this multiple times before, that I think that if these game devs were smart, they would actually have real ads in the games. Like, Grand Theft Auto is about to have all these fake companies in the game. Why wouldn't you want like real gas stations?
I'm sure they're gonna have some real ones. I know. So here's the problem. Like that this is a thing that's already happened. NBA 2K does this all the time.
Yeah,
they've been doing this for years, and not always to the benefit of the players. Like, they've had some pretty egregious situations where it's like where you're actually getting an ad as a loading screen.
So I'm not talking about that, but I'm like talking about like you're driving by and there's like billboards in the game.
But
yeah,
in 2K it takes the hub is the city,
right?
And when you're going around a city, there is a store that sells Nike, and you can buy Nike for your characters, and they have Adidas and Converse and Under Armour, Jordan. They have Drake's clothing line. They have all the brands just all over. They have a side mission chain where you get to meet Jake from State Farm, and you complete it, and you get the khaki and the red shirt. Like, they're very much all in. Your NBA player, you can get popular enough by performing well in games and with the media to earn endorsements with like AT&T and Ruffles, which also has an event sometimes where if you walk around the city with your Ruffles t-shirt, you get double rep.
And I feel like that's something that, like, I don't have a problem with that. If you want to do that to get free double rep, like if the Ruffles shirt was free too, I don't really see the big deal.
Oh, the Ruffle shirt is. Oh, the Ruffle shirt is the prices of the stuff is another thing, because if you want to buy, when you buy clothes, it's like cost VC, and the clothes are thousands of VC. But don't worry, you can spend real money to
right. But I'm saying, like, if you want to have an ad for State Farm in the game and have a quest line and you earn that at the end, that has to be free. And that's the rub. That's all right. You're going through this like advertised, sponsored event in the game. You've got that advertisement there. They're making their money that way, and you get some kind of a reward that doesn't cost you money. Like, I feel like that is something.
I feel that's a nice alternative. You gotta be careful, because companies can and will take the shit too far.
No, I get that. I'm not talking about like anything like drastic, but like I look at like Monster, right? Like right now you buy Monster, you send your receipt to Call of Duty, and you can get some double XP. Like, I always kind of actually liked stuff like that. Like, one of my best, like early on when Arkham City came out, they did a deal with NOS energy drink, where if you got a can of NOS, you got the Batman Beyond skin. And that was the only way to get it, was to get a can of NOS. And like, I made a video about that, and it like got lots of views back then.
Humble brag. Humble brag.
Yeah, but like I think stuff like that is interesting, and it's an interesting way of like incentivizing like finding your revenue stream
Yeah.
without charging the player. I mean, I know you had to buy a can of Nas in this case, but
I would personally be annoyed if I had to get or had to buy a energy drink in order to get a really cool skin that I wanted.
Yeah, but well, all right. So no, I don't dispute that. Like, I would rather pay the $3 that the can of Nas costs.
I would literally have you just put. I would literally just have you put it in the store.
Right, but like I'm talking about like, but let's using Grand Theft Auto as an example. Okay, so like Grand Theft Auto, like instead of having like whatever generic gas station they have,
Right.
what if it's like a Shell station, you know? And that's it. It's just a Shell station. There's nothing else to it. It's just you're getting your gas at a Shell station, and Shell is paying them money to have the Shell station be the gas station that's in the game. You know, like
have no problem with that.
Like I feel like that's kind of like should be the avenue that they're going towards, you know, and like the fast food restaurants, you know, like maybe McDonald's pays them some money so that like in Grand Theft Auto, every time you're playing it, when you go to a fast food place, there's a McDonald's or maybe there's a Olive Garden.
I'd rather be Five Guys, but yeah, I get your point.
I'm just using examples, you know, like it could be Five Guys.
Use Five Guys.
Yeah, but like you could do real world places and they're paying for the right to be in this massive video game that people are going to play over and over again. And you're just like, you know, you've got the billboards, and instead of driving by, Nuka-Cola, you know, use a Fallout example, you know, it's Coke, you know?
But Jay, the problem is they're forcing you to drive by that. You can't change it to something else. You have to look at this as you're driving by. And isn't that just some kind of injustice, Jay?
It is. It's absolutely an injustice. You know, like the audacity. I'm sorry you didn't have to look at a fake company. You had to look at a real one.
Exactly. Like you're forced to look at this Adidas suit before you can take it off.
Yeah. And I love that it came out that Insomniac designed it. I so love it. Like it was their design. They made it.
I mean, it was obvious. I mean, but it didn't matter that they did design it because we know the goalposts. I saw the goalposts moving a mile away.
Yeah,
like it was never going to just be like they were just using that as a convenient excuse to hate the thing. The real problem is that they didn't like the suit. That's just what it was.
I have a news flash. Like I just thought it was hilarious the way they're like, they just put it in the game to advertise Adidas. I hate to break it to you. Every suit is designed to sell something.
See, Lejeune, don't do this. don't say things that make me think less of you. Five Guys has always been good. It's never not been good.
I think Lejeune is like a sushi guy.
A sushi guy?
Maybe.
I thought he was a honey guy.
I don't get that.
He gets it.
The chat gets it. I actually remember that. Never mind.
He got it.
Yep. I'm waiting for the LMAO. It's coming.
I wish I had a soundboard for that, but I don't.
I remember that. It crept in on me. But yeah, I hate to break it to you, but like literally every single suit that's ever designed is meant to sell something. You know what I mean? And like even look at like all of the suits that they made in like the first Spider-Man game or even the Miles Morales game, all the original suits, and think of all the products that came out because of it. So many. Like I have the Hot Toys 2020 suit, you know? I have the Advanced suit as a hot toy. I'm sure everybody has the Funko Pop. I'm sure everybody has the Marvel Legends figure. Maybe not you, but like how many hoodies and t-shirts are there for the Advanced shirt? So many. Like people have no problem with it until they want to like make some other point and then they use it as a crutch. It's stupid. And that was the whole point I was making when I made my tweet was like, you know, it's fine that like you don't like the suit, but like trying to claim it's because it's with Adidas, you know, like who cares? Like, I don't know, whatever.
I think it would just go along better if the suits were like good quality. Like I think that's the essential issue. I personally don't care about brand, about doing collabs and doing branded stuff, because I'm not a baby. I understand how business works, but as a fan of the game, I can definitely appreciate how fans might be a little annoyed
Yeah,
when
with these,
they see stuff like this getting added to the game.
they have to be free. Like, there's no way that anybody getting those Hims ads, huh?
Yeah, I'm on Chrome, so all my ad blocker ain't popping up. I'm being lazy. I should just add the ad blocker. but
Well, there's an
but
update to Chrome, and it looks kind of different now. At least
I
on
guess I didn't update
PC.
it yet. But
Yeah, but these are awful. Like,
yeah, this is a.
but this is the type of stuff that Insomniac likes to do. And as long as they're free, I don't think anybody's going to pay any money for this.
Yeah, like if these are added to the update, the 2024 update with the new game plus, I don't think that's a problem. But it is like at the same time, it's like, could you add something else? like the only I'm trying to see, like, look on the browser, like I think the only suit that I might try on is like maybe the soccer one, maybe the leather jacket one, because it kind of reminds me of Ghost Rider.
Yeah, the one on the far right is okay.
Yeah,
Maybe they look good in game. I doubt it, but
yeah, it's like it's just like it's not the best look. Like, yeah, but as long as these are free, fine, whatever. Good for Kid Super, good for Kid Super, but yeah, but I can understand people being just annoyed when a suit looks good, but they definitely do tend to overreact, especially when Spider-Man fans are very serious about their suits, especially the Tobey Maguire fans.
well, so like these suits though, like were also designed with like some kind of celebrities. Like somebody on the Brazilian national team actually designed the soccer suit.
It shows.
And there's some race car driver that did the one with the helmet. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like okay, good for them, but yeah, it's definitely definitely not something I'm going to be putting on when if it's added. But as long as it's not in a mandatory cutscene,
God forbid you can't change your suit in the cutscene.
Yeah, that does annoy me sometimes in games, like when you're doing you're replaying a game and you want to change the suits, I would do Avengers replays, and I'd like put on MCU suits, and then because of the story they'd be like, oh well, it's time to put on this story section suit. And it's like, no, I don't want to see that dog shit, bro. I'm on basically New Game Plus. I don't want to see that shit. I want the suit that I want. So I do hope, and we'll get into that. Like, seems like a worthy transition. But yeah, I think one of the things I want to see in this specific update is in New Game Plus, and I want them to add some stuff. I want New Game Plus to be more than just you playing through the story again with just all your stuff. Like, because you can pretty much already do that. Like, I'm doing that now. I replayed the game on Ultimate, and I did the XP glitch, so I pretty much hit level 60 within like the first couple hours, and had all the skills, had all the suits, had almost all the suits unlocked, and I've been doing manual save so that I can kind of mimic mission select. So I'm kind of doing all that already. But I think a cool quality of life feature would one of many they could potentially add, but one would be like if you're doing New Game Plus, you can, whatever suit you have on equipped is the suit that's going to be equipped, even in the cutscenes. Like, there's no more situations where they manually just force you into a different suit. Except I can understand maybe for the symbiote, but like if you have a specific symbiote, like an alternate version of the symbiote, they don't force you out of it. But I like the idea of giving players that extra freedom, like because they already played through the story once, they've already seen your vision. Now they want to play it again and do it their way. So if people want to have a different suit on Miles during that scene, let them have it. If they want to have the classic symbiote for Pete, let them have it.
See, here's the thing, and this is why I think that for some reason this happens, is that some of these scenes are basically CGI.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily something that the suit can switch out, you know? That I have to feel like that's what happened, and that's the reason why these in particular scenes, because they're just basically movies. They're not I don't know why it would
that's a trick.
work.
Well, that's a tricky thing because playing Spider-Man 2, one of the great things about it is that the cutscenes, like they had you could tell they had CGI in like that Venom trailer, but the actual cutscenes in the game are seamless. Like it's seamless in engine cutscenes. That's part of what makes those set pieces so nice. It's not, oh, this is clearly like in Baldur's Gate 3, you can very clearly distinguish like some of those early CG cutscenes from the in-engine stuff. Where in Spider-Man 2, there is no difference. It's the cutscenes look exactly like the actual game.
And then you get into the end where everybody gets upset about the suit not changing, and I feel like that is just straight animation. It's not necessarily an engine, you know what I mean?
It looked an engine to me. I didn't see.
I'm speculating. I'm just throwing it out there as a thing that does happen.
I think in this particular instance, it was just a creative choice.
Yeah, they do that too.
I mean, they did it. They had those choices in Spider-Man PS4. It's not uncommon for games to have choices where, hey, this particular scene calls for this particular look, and it's not an uncommon thing. The only reason people even talk about it in Spider-Man 2 is because this one just so happened to have Adidas.
Yeah. Well, also, and it's not uncommon at all for like there to be cutscenes that never show the suit you're wearing, in games. Like every cutscene is just that's what it is,
Yep. But Spider-Man 2 is one of the games where your suits do change depending on the cutscene, and they have some great detail on that as well. I was replaying, and I had some missions with Miles, and I was going through some of his alternative suits, and they had I was wearing the 20 I think it was the 2099 hoodie with the gold variant, and they had a nice little cutscene with Miles, and he takes off the hood, he takes off the mask, and it's him with and I was like, oh, this is it looks great. But yeah, that Insomniac is a game that lets you have it. You can change the suits, and you can still, and they still made the cutscenes designed to feature all the different suits in the game, except for some just a few specific missions, which tells me that's 100% was a creative decision, not a technical one, which is fine. It's a good creative decision. And I personally wasn't, upset when I saw Miles have the suit, and I played with it for a little bit, and then eventually ended up switching out to some different suits. But yeah, when in Spider-Man PS4, when we unlocked the anti-ox suit, I immediately grabbed the suit power and changed the suit because I was like, oh, the suit's ass. I don't know. So I changed it when I was able. But I can understand why people aren't maybe not fans of it, because this is a particular game where because of the way it's designed, where there's a bunch of different suits to choose from and you can kind of express yourself. Yeah, you're going to have people that are more sensitive to that than others, but it's Spider-Man fans, so naturally they're going to just take that to the logical extreme and just have a complete meltdown. But I am glad that Insomniac is at least taking the time. I'm surprised more people aren't considering the fact that this delay to the update is probably because of the ransomware attack. Like,
Yeah, and it might just be taking longer than they thought it would. It's like, hey, we put the game out. Like, did you really want us to wait for New Game Plus to be ready to put the game out? Like, deal with it.
and
Go
because
play
and
the
it,
video games.
and it's also like they acknowledge that they're not just adding New Game Plus, they're adding features that they actually stopped and listened to feedback and said, oh, okay, fans want all this stuff. So instead of just, I'm sure if they just wanted to do New Game Plus and audio descriptions, it would be out by now. But
Right.
because they took the time to say, hey, players want other stuff, let's put this all together in one update. Oh crap, we just got hit with a ransomware attack.
Yeah, like, I feel like there are people that actually think that, like, they're just gonna piecemeal it and, like, start putting it out, like, little piece by piece. It doesn't work that way. Like, granted, it's a first party studio, but, like, there is a process involved for having these updates go out, and they're supposed to be, like, checked and made sure that they're stable. Mortal Kombat had an update that went out yesterday that, like, absolutely just great for me.
Yeah, you got
But, like,
it gave you it gave you like all the cosmetics
yeah,
for
like,
that season.
yeah, so, like, I load up the thing and I go into the seasonal store, and all of my credits from last season are still there, and they're supposed to be reset. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna buy all this, And then people are like, dude, go to the mesas, because when you load into the mesa, it's just gonna give you all the stuff. So I'm like, oh. So I go to the final mesa, which I shouldn't even have access to. I should only be able to go to one of them, but all of them are open. So I go to the final one where you fight the boss, load in, and it gives me the final boss skin. And I'm like, damn. So, like, after the servers were up for like about an hour, they took them down for like 8 hours, and like people were pissed.
Did they end up taking the stuff back?
They did not.
So yeah, so once again, that shows you the importance of why you need to test all the patches, because stuff like that could happen.
Yeah, so what ended up happening, the end result was they did end up resetting any progress that people had. But like, and they did end up resetting the currency, which they should have, and everybody was expecting anyway. But they did not take any of the skins back.
Oh,
So like, yeah.
So now you got all the skins. You don't have to grind anymore.
Well, I mean, I'm still gonna play through it all because there's some story elements to it, and there are some skins that are locked behind chests that you need to get. But like, I got the season skin for Sub-Zero, and it's freaking amazing. It's like honestly one of the sickest skins.
There you go. Yeah. So, but as we, again, as Avengers players, we know that all bugs do not necessarily benefit the players. So that's why it could have been much worse on you. So
I honestly thought that they were going to revert it, and they were going to like basically reset everything and take everybody's skins back. But I was very pleasantly surprised that they did not.
Jay's being modest. He actually told Ed Boon personally that they should just let everyone keep the skins.
Yep. Ed Boon's a nice guy.
and Jay knows him.
I don't. I do have an awkward story about it though.
So
like
literally every story involving Ed Boon you have told has been awkward.
Yeah. So obviously I went to Summer Game Fest this year in LA, and I got out of my Uber at the YouTube theater. And as I'm getting out, Ed Boon like arrives behind me. So I'm like, oh, it's Ed Boon. Let me go say hi. Hey Ed, how you doing? Can I get a picture? All right, cool.
Did you say it like that?
Yes, exactly like that. And
I would have ran away.
So
security.
And he was like, oh, hey, and he looked at whatever. So then I went to after the show is over, I went to the venue to go get my passes, and I decided to just kind of hang out and see if I saw anybody that I knew. And as I was just like standing there, Ed Boon drives by me. So he's like, well, his driver drives by me. So like he's like looking at me, like literally like his car is like right here, and I'm just happen to be standing there. And he's like looking right at me like, oh, I just saw you. And it was weird.
Because he thought you were stalking him.
Yeah, I would not have been surprised. I was like, oh man, don't make eye contact. It was funny.
To be fair, you definitely look like the type that would stalk Ed Boon.
I don't think that's fair, but I'll let you have it.
I'm sure Jay would never, ever.
No.
I mean, he doesn't need to. Him and Ed Boon actually they go on and become great friends. They golf together or at the country club on the weekend.
That is one thing I definitely don't do is golf. Although I to add to the story, hold on, let me pull it up. To add to the story, and I don't know that this is going to make it any better for me.
Odds are it will not.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna to add to the story. Wait, where's the window?
Jay's about to load up a picture of him and Ed Boon swimming in a pool of gold.
No, but why isn't this tires? Oh, there we go.
Sounds like a skill issue.
That's not me outside of Ed Boon's office.
That definitely looks like JayShockblast stalking Ed Boon outside of his office.
So there's that.
I wonder, is that you leaving the office after you snuck in, or are you walking?
No,
down?
I went to NetherRealm in August, and I thought that'd be a funny picture.
It was definitely a funny one. Yeah. Something Ed Boon, I'm sure, treasures.
Listen, I'm sure he does, because, like, look, an hour or two later, we were just chumming it up like old friends. You know what I mean? Just
here you go. Look at
that was right after I pitched him Batman Ninja.
The probably the best pitch you've made so far in terms of games.
I have a funny story that I will share in a future episode in maybe mid-January.
It's related. It may or may not be related to Redacted.
Yeah. Maybe allegedly. Let's set I'll share that story maybe January 12th.
January 12th. All right, mark down your calendars. January 12th. There may or may not be a open beta for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Where did you even come up with that? Not anywhere near what I was talking about.
So mark down all your calendars. Chad, you heard it here first from Jay.
No, you did not hear it here at all.
If anyone from if anyone from WB or Rocksteady, if Alan's listening, you heard it from
Incorrect.
JayShockblast.
Literally not what I said.
I'm week rewinded. I literally heard him say, "Mark it down, 100% open beta on January 12th." You're ready to sign up.
I said I would have a story that I could share.
I heard open beta, so I guess it's one of those things where it's open to interpretation, one person hears story, other person hears open beta. Definitely happening today.
Okie doke.
You never know, but I know some people have their preferences for what they want in the Spider-Man 2 update. Obviously changing the weather, very important for some reason. But what do you want, Jay? Or are you mostly satisfied?
I don't think I'm ever gonna play that game again. They've ruined it for me.
Jay, by that he means he's too busy playing Baldur's Gate 3.
I actually just bought Baldur's Gate 3 on Xbox. I got it for like $25.
Oh well, yeah. I was wondering why you got it when you already have it for PlayStation for free.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I wasn't going to
$25. I mean,
yeah. When I saw it was all right. So apparently in Egypt they had a digital deal where you could get it for $25.
And Jay just happened to be in Egypt on business.
No, I just happened to use a VPN to tell my self that I was in Egypt, and I bought it and I applied it, and there we go.
Yeah, I definitely. And if you are interested in performing magic acts like that, I definitely recommend Surfshark VPN. Thank you for sponsoring my main YouTube channel.
There you go.
Hashtag ad. But yeah, I actually saw, speaking of games being too cheap, Game of the Year nominee Alan Wake 2 is already $26 on sale.
Oh, nice.
I'm hearing it's
I'm hearing play it.
I'm hearing it's selling very poorly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't know. It's not a game that really interested me. I know that they had like it's weird because like when I think of Alan Wake 2, I think of Summer Game Fest. When I was waiting in a lobby, there was a building that was behind closed doors, which is like you had to make appointments to even go in the room.
Ooh.
And
was it one of those Illuminati Eyes Wide Shut sex party rooms?
No, that's when I did the Samsung thing that I told you about, where I like played their like projector with their game hub.
Oh yeah.
You had to do that behind closed doors, and they also were showing Alan Wake 2 behind closed doors at the time. And Hip Hop Gamer had his session with Alan Wake 2 while I was waiting, and he was so loud, like you could hear him like everywhere while he was doing the thing.
And he's not saying he's loud because he's black. He's saying he's loud because he's a loud person.
And listen, I've met Hip Hop Gamer a bunch of times over the years. He's a really nice guy. Like I really can't say anything, negative, but
he was also right
being loud.
He was also right about the Spider-Man 2 leaks. He's actually technically a Spider-Man 2 leaker.
And I defended him then.
Yeah, he was right. He was right. It was looking bad for him for a little bit, but
it wasn't like a totally but like I can understand why he said it the way he did and why he presented it that way. It wasn't totally that, but it was still accurate. There was what he said. And I told you then, like, I was like, look, I don't know him like super well or anything, but I've like, I know people that do, and I've met him a bunch of times, and he's very connected with Sony. So like, and everybody apparently.
Yeah.
Like, so
I mean everything he said in that video pretty much was accurate. He even the part he said, he mentioned that there would be some part that was like Venom would be playable to some degree. Obviously he was right about the Ratchet and Clank rift mechanic being in there. I mean, even the people thought the biggest stretch was the Spider-Verse implication, but that literally ended up being a mission, a whole ass mission that introduced the whole Spider-Verse. So yeah, W for Hip Hop Gamer.
Yeah, but it was just kind of funny because like
every time you say behind closed doors, I think you're doing some weird sex shit.
Yeah, I mean it's what they called it.
I'm like, I never played the first Alan Wake, so maybe that's part of the reason I wasn't interested. But like, if Remedy had made another Control game, I would have definitely been there because I love Control. It's a great game. But Alan Wake, I didn't get hooked into it. Like, I came in after Control came out. I picked it up on sale and ended up loving it. Got all the DLC expansions, but didn't understood that it was related and part of the Alan Wake verse. But then nothing really about Alan Wake made me want to like run back to the original.
Yeah, I just am not into horror stuff. Like, it's just not my. I don't play, Dead by Daylight and or any of that type of game. Like, it's just not my thing. So I know that there are some horror elements to it, and I don't know. It just wasn't that interesting.
I don't mind a horror game, but I like the action stuff. I need some action. Like, I don't mind certain stuff like the Quarry was good. That was kind of like a survival.
Yeah, I gave it a chance.
That was fun. And normally I probably wouldn't have got it, but 2K hooked it up. But I actually enjoyed it. But usually with a horror game, I would want like some more action. That's why I really enjoyed Control, because it has those creepy horror elements, but it's got really good combat. It's a really good third-person action game on top of having all the weird stuff. Alan Wake 2, I just looking at it was like, not really something that jumped out at me, but it might be okay.
Yeah, I mean, from everything I've heard from people that have played it, though, it was supposed to be a good game.
Why couldn't Craven hunt down and kill Peter and Miles himself instead of having an army of hunters capture him? So the idea of Well, that part made perfect sense to me. So, as they went over in the prologue, the whole city of New York was considered a hunting ground for Craven, and every part of everyone in the Craven organization is a hunter who is trying to prove themselves to be a top hunter. And Craven's goal wasn't just to hunt anybody. He was dying, so he was looking for the ultimate challenge, and he singled out New York as a potential hunting ground for that final challenge. So he had his hunters spread across the city because obviously he's one man. It would be stupid for him to just be trying to hunt everyone himself. So he had the hunters, not only prove themselves to him by, showing their capabilities, but also investigate and engage these various targets, which not only just included the Spider-Man, but also included a lot of Spider-Man villains. Obviously Tombstone, Scorpion, everything like that. So they would engage. The targets, and they would be captured. And then when they were captured, they would be made to fight to see if they were worthy. That's why Scorpion ended up getting killed by Craven, because Craven had him captured and brought back there and set so that they can set up a death match between them. And Craven was bitterly disappointed when he saw that they were all just weak and they couldn't get him. And he didn't consider Spider-Man a threat either. I mean, he literally killed. If it wasn't for the symbiote, Peter would literally be dead. He didn't actually even consider Spider-Man a threat until he got the symbiote. And then once he saw the power of the symbiote, he thought, okay, that could be a potentially worthy threat. So that's why he had Miles get abducted, because he needed to draw Peter out. And he thought the best way to get Peter with the symbiote to come and fight him would be to abduct Miles, who he did not consider a worthy adversary, and have him come and rescue him, and that would result in a fight. And that's what ended up happening. He got his big confrontation. Did not go quite according to plan. Miles intervened before Peter could go full Venom, but Craven ended up getting what he wanted in the end by having a one-on-one fight with Venom that obviously didn't end well for him, but also based on what he wanted, ended perfectly for him. He found his worthy adversary. He got his head bit off. He didn't have to die because of his illness. He got to die on his own terms, fighting a truly worthy foe. And that's all he really wanted in the end. And his hunters were just there to help him in that goal. Scout, track down, capture potentially worthy adversaries. That was the goal. That's why he didn't just randomly hunt both Spider-Men himself, because New York's a big place. There's two of them, and he didn't even really see either of them as a threat until he encountered symbiote Peter. Like literally, he beat Peter like effortlessly when they first fought. It's not something that was on his priority list. It was like, oh, they're people of interest. That's how he looked at it when he first arrived. They're people of interest. That's all it was to it.
He said.
Yeah. That I am a self-appointed Spider-Man 2 scholar. I'm not even consider myself a scholar. There's stuff about the game that about the story that didn't quite click or add up to me. But I feel like most of the stuff people complain about is just like pretty easily grasp stuff that I don't see an issue with. Like I didn't get any issue with that. My problem, one of my problems was like I feel like the way they did Harry's transformation into Venom, I feel like they kind of hand waved a little too much in his like symbiote origin, because the last two games they basically set up where Harry. Yeah, I see. They basically said where Harry is going to be like, oh well, we have to find something because the symbiote isn't healing him, and then in Spider-Man 2, all of a sudden, oh no, it's fine, he's healed. Like what? where did it happen?
Breaking video game news that you may find interesting, that you may not. I don't know. Let's find out.
Oh no, let me unfreeze my shit real quick.
Bushy Road Games and Aiding announce Hunter x Hunter fighting game. More details January 6th, 2024. I know this is anime, and I know Sadot is unfreezing. So we'll wait. Is Hunter x Hunter a game, a series that you guys like, all you anime nerds? We'll see. Sadot's coming back in here. All right.
Of course, it's a fucking fighting game. Jesus Christ.
Okay. Is this a show that an anime that you like?
Hunter x Hunter is one of the most well-known and respected anime and manga of all time.
Okay, so you don't pronounce the X.
You do not. It's Hunter x Hunter.
Okay. I see it everywhere I go. So, yeah. Yeah. I just saw that and I thought that maybe it would be interesting, but it's a fighting game, so you're out.
Definitely, I would say definitely. I'll check it out, but Jesus Christ, like there are other ways you can make an anime game.
What? Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I feel like all the anime games are like fighting games.
Literally, anime games have not evolved past Budokai or Naruto Storm. Every fucking anime game is trying to recreate one of those games. But yeah, if you're going to watch Hunter x Hunter, obviously it is a must watch. Both anime series are good. I would say I believe the 2011 is the most recent adaptation. I think that is the superior one, so I would definitely watch that one. But it is a fantastic series.
They did do that One Piece game last year maybe.
Yeah,
that was like a Final Fantasy style game.
Yeah, and I remember they showed a trailer for Genshin Impact style Seven Deadly Sins game, but I haven't heard anything about that since. But that would be cool. Like in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, that was a great game. It broke the formula. I was like, Jesus, you don't. It doesn't have to be a fighting game. It doesn't have to be Arena Fighter.
Well, there is also that Demon Slayer Mario Party game coming.
Yeah, there's a Demon Slayer Mario Party game. There's the Jujutsu Kaisen Arena Fighter coming in February. There, every game is about anime is being a fighting game. It's like, come on, man.
Well, isn't that all they do in anime is fight each other?
Sometimes, but still, it's like
sometimes they go to like school.
But yeah, sometimes oftentimes they have stories, and the stories aren't just straightforward. Like now Hunter x Hunter makes sense to have fighting to a degree because part of the arc, one of the arcs is like the literal martial arts tournament is one of the arcs, but there's also if there was going to be one anime adaptation for a video game that you make like an open world story game, it would be Hunter x Hunter, because the literal premise is traveling around the world exploring. What's the actual fucking premise?
Let me just tell you, I'm so glad that your camera froze when I introduced it as Hunter x Hunter.
Oh yeah, I would definitely clown you for that.
Yeah. Well, you still have time.
Oh, I will. but it's like I would much rather have a Hunter x Hunter game where it's more in the style of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, where it's a big open world exploration game where you're playing through the various story beats as Gon. You take the hunter exam. You go through all the different trials. They can probably based on depending on how big they want to make the game. They can probably, based on how much ground Kakarot covered, they could probably easily go up to the ant arc. So I'm like, they gotta just be more creative with these games. Like everyone is it's usually either a 2D fighter or an arena fighter trying to be like Dragon Ball Fighters or Budokai or Kakarot. It's like there are more ways to make there are more interesting ways to make these anime games, especially one with the rich story like Hunter x Hunter. Like it just feels like a waste. Like they're great. I'm sure if they make it right, it could be fun because the characters are really cool. They're in terms of if you just want to have a straight up fighting game, they are very fun characters to use. They have some very cool abilities. They have a great system, but it's such a predictable thing at this point. Like, come on, some variety, please. like I feel like the anime adaptation, the anime game adaptation has not evolved in like 15 years. Like
I agree.
Like the only unique one I've seen in the last 10 years is Kakarot. Everything else is like, oh, it's like Naruto Storm, but Demon Slayer, or it's like Budokai, but different Dragon Ball characters, or you had Jump Force, a while ago, but that was basically, even though that had different anime characters from different series, it was still basically an arena fighter. You had the My Hero Academia game. It's like, which is basically like, what if it was Rumbleverse, but My Hero Academia? It's like, come on.
What's the one that King Greek is playing? It's like a battle royale. My Hero, I think.
Yeah, it's My Hero. Yeah, it's My Hero. It's basically Rumbleverse, but My Hero.
I played Mirage. You played Mirage too, right?
I mean, we're both Ubisoft creators, so yes,
yeah,
we did. We both played.
I liked it a lot. I mean, it was good.
I still didn't finish it. I'm deep in games.
I'm debating getting it on PlayStation so I can get the platinum.
Nerd.
Yeah.
I still have to go back and keep playing Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora because I did like the game.
I played I recorded my first video, the intro part. It's kind of boring. It's whatever. Establishes story. And then I started recording my second part and OBS froze and I lost it. And then I did my second one after rebooting everything and it froze again and I lost it. So at that point I was like, you know what? I don't think this game just isn't for me. It's pretty, but I've never seen an Avatar movie and I was just not like.
I've seen both of them, and instead of recording it, I just went live and just played like the first 3 hours.
Yeah, I felt like I would have played to like 5 people. So I know you went live. I watched it from an undisclosed location.
Yes, you did.
While eating breakfast.
What did you have for breakfast?
It was so I they gave the place I was at, I had a credit, a per diem. And when I went to the restaurant at the hotel, they had a buffet and I had the buffet.
Ooh, what did they have? Did they have anything interesting on the buffet?
So the first day they had French toast, and I regret not having more French toast because the French toast was really good. But they also had egg, sausage, bacon, breakfast potatoes, which were whatever. But
actually sounds like a solid buffet.
Yeah, I mean it's $30, so it better be. But I mean, not that I paid. I actually gave the rest of the per diem as a tip. It was like an over tipping. I was like, all right, you gave me this much money to spend. Yes, I just had a $50 breakfast.
so generous. What was that?
Yeah.
How big was the tip?
It was like $13 on a
Ooh.
yeah, like it was a good tip, I think.
Ooh, $13. Oh, whoa.
For a
Whoa.
buffet.
Elon Musk here. Jesus.
Oh, I thought that was pretty good for a $36 bill.
$13.
At a buffet. All they did was bring me drinks. They brought me 2 orange juices.
Oh.
But anyway, the second day they had these
duck over here.
The second day they had these little crepe things instead of the French toast. I was very sad about it, and they were not as good as the French toast, but the bacon was like really good and the sausage was really good.
What's up, Craig? You just missed Jay's extremely generous story about how he gave an incredible $13 tip.
It was like a 30% tip. Who do you tip 30%?
Well,
hold on. Let's get the I want to know exactly what the percentage is here. 36. I did it wrong.
Yeah, if you ever
36% tip.
If you ever want to know how someone is cheap, they're always going to they'll bring out the calculator.
36% tip.
Yeah, come on. Like if you're at if maybe it's
at a buffet.
Maybe it's a rich person thing, but I feel like if I'm out physically at a place and if the amount of money I hand to the server as a tip is below $20, it's just insulting.
You're gonna give a $20 tip on a $36 meal.
Yeah,
I don't believe you.
At least
I don't believe you.
$13. You might as well spit in their mouth.
15% is like the standard.
For cheap people.
Okay. I mean, I always do at least 20, but whatever.
Well, I mean, this time you did 13.
I mean, this time I did 36 because it wasn't my money.
13. I think that makes it even worse. Like you didn't even use your own money to pay for it.
I gave him the rest of the money.
You ate at a buffet on a $1 million corporation's dime, and you tipped $13 to the server. Jesus Christ!
A buffet. Like whatever.
It doesn't make it better, Jay. If you keep saying it's a buffet, it sounds bad.
It sounds bad. Like the servers at a buffet are not. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Divine. Yeah. Sadot's just like playing. He's not serious.
He's cheap. Divine is cheap too. he plays on Xbox. You know he doesn't have money. like come on. This is crazy. Your J money back. A $13 tip is nuts if I'm not paying for the meal.
Here I was thinking that it was great.
That's
I'll tell you what, that server was thrilled.
Bruh, I'm sure they were because there's a bunch of people, bunch of cheap asses like that. Like, oh my god, $13. Oh.
That's a good tip. That's a good tip on that meal.
If I wasn't paying, I would have been like, oh, we ball it out. I would drop a 40.
No, you wouldn't.
Spreading the love.
No, I know that's a cap.
The correct usage is cap. You know, it's not like the Facebook.
No,
it's just cap.
That's a cap.
It's stop the cap or that's cap. That's how you say it, Jay.
Your cap.
You're the one wearing the cap.
And not the Sam Wilson.
You mean Black Falcon?
Yes. You said it, not me.
You drink a 40. That goes. You mean a 40 ounce of malt liquor? I never saw the appeal. Drink a 40 out of a brown bag. I'd rather have an iced tea. But that's just me. No, it's okay, Jay. You know, everyone isn't generous. Everyone isn't as generous with their money. Yeah. As long as the server walked away happy. That's all that matters, right? I'm sure they appreciate it.
Hold on. Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero.
Did you Sparkling Zero?
That's what it's called, right? Sparking Zero. I can't. All right, it's called Sparking Zero.
Yeah,
166 gigs.
166 gigs.
Yeah.
Oof, that's no, that seems appropriate. I saw the trailer. It's going to have like pretty much every character in the history of Dragon Ball. The graphics look great. Big environments. Yeah, bring it on.
Okie doke.
Isn't a slop night like 120?
Fortnite? No. Fortnite's like 50.
Like 50? How much is COD?
COD's like that, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I remember Jazz Survivor was like over 100 as well.
Yeah, it's crazy. Remember our like 8 gig hard drives for like, remember our like 64 megabyte memory cards for PlayStation 2?
I have no idea what you mean, Jay. I'm Gen Alpha. I've never owned that.
You didn't have a PS2?
No, I'm too young to have a PS2, Jay. My first system.
No way.
My first system was a PS4.
No way. You're lying. Dude, you are like full of caps tonight.
I'm a youth, Jay.
You're like 5 years younger than me.
Yeah, what, dog years? what are we counting? you're an old man. You're like when I was in high school, you were like trying you're like trying to get your first mortgage.
Did you graduate in 2016 from high school?
No.
All right.
I graduated a lot earlier than that.
Yeah. So anyway, what did you miss about Wolverine? It was that they got hacked, and there's some people out there that are probably facing some federal wiretapping charges or whatever we're gonna call it.
Speaking of crime, we didn't even talk about the day before yet.
God,
the biggest crime in gaming. So that I watched Skill Up. Shout to Skill Up. He did a whole video today breaking down like the entire day before saga.
Mm-hmm.
And it was insane. so for those who know, the day before was at one point the most wishlisted game on Steam. This is a sign that of how just down bad the MMO zombie genre is. There's so many people looking for a next game. They like, it's so easy to get them excited. But the day before it dropped as like this promising trailer that showed like this, really, it basically looked like The Division, but zombies, which is important because they basically stole or reflipped assets from The Division. Like this was actually like a full on 100% grift. Like they had like the studio who was in charge of this. It came out, there were so many red flags. First of all, people found out that they didn't have employees. They had what they called volunteers. They had full-time volunteers who were getting paid allegedly, and part-time volunteers who were compensated with other means. So that was already cause for concern. They had there were numerous delays. There was a lot of generally shady shit going on this project. But when people actually got to check behind the hood, it found out that basically they bought a bunch of assets from the Epic Game Store, like without altering. Like they literally just went on and said, "All right, we're going to buy," because if you're trying to get into the program, you can like go on, like if you're developing an Unreal Engine, you can like get templates like, oh, if you need a city, if your game has a big city, you want to in Unreal, you can literally go in the store and buy it and throw that in there as an asset and alter it as you need. So one of the first major delays was like a month before it was supposed to come out, and they said they were changing it because they were delaying it because they were wanting to upgrade to Unreal Engine 5 a month before the game was supposed to come out.
Red flag.
Substantial red flag. You don't change your entire game engine a month before launch, but they did. And then when people eventually got to see it, it was nothing like they advertised. They would literally use trailers where they would steal shots directly from like The Division, Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto. Like when people got the actual game, it was obviously not only was it a technical nightmare, but it was not anything like they promised. Like they actually went in to Steam and changed the tags to remove MMO because it wasn't an MMO like they promised it was. It was actually a really shitty extraction shooter. Like it had no enemy density. There was basically like no zombies anywhere. There was like there was just some players you would run into scattered about, and if they killed you, you would lose all your loot and have to run around and get it back. And you could run like for literally reportedly like a half hour and only get like a few pieces of ammo just from looting. It was a nightmare. It was so bad from a technical standpoint that because of some basic programming shit that they missed, if you ran into a bug where you're like falling through the map, normally if you fall through the map, you could restart or whatever. But because of how badly it was programmed, if you fell through the map and turned your game off in your system and turned everything back on and logged and went back into the game, you'd still be falling. So you have to create it. So you'd have to actually create an entirely new character in order to keep playing. It was such a disaster that 4 days after this launched on Steam, and this was despite the literal trail of red flags, this launched to like hundreds of thousands, got a couple 100,000 sales. It had 30,000 concurrent players, and within 4 days, the studio announced that they shut down. It was delisted from Steam, and 80% of the purchases were refunded. This was 100% a scam. They were saying that they ran out of money, but someone did a audit into like their tax filings, and based on the money that they should have had, there was no reason they could have possibly ran out of money that fast, especially considering how little they put into the game. So I think it was at one point they created this scam game in order to sell an app, but I don't know if they succeeded or not because they stopped promoting it, but they started scrubbing the entire internet of the app, of their entire YouTube channel of the day before. They just trying to think we're all just going to forget about it. And I feel, and they claim that they're trying to pay off, they have to pay off investors or anything like that, but pretty sure they just took the money and ran. Whatever money they had left over that they didn't refunded and just flipped.
I think someone just retweeted this into my feed, and I don't really know much about this guy, but like this, I feel like explains the Spider-Man community in like one nutshell.
Oh, is that the amazing Lucas?
Yeah.
I'm Spider-Man. He's basically the Kyle of the Spider-Man community.
That is what I was gonna ask.
Yeah, that's basically
does he get like tooled on as much?
He has his fans, so he's not as. I mean, he's so he was one of the. You'll probably hate him more after this, but he was one of the Tobey Maguire suit truthers who
Raimi suitors.
Yeah, he was one of the Raimi suitors, and he insists on gaslighting people into thinking that this wasn't an incredibly toxic movement of people who were sending death threats to the devs, but obviously we know that's the case. But yeah, he was one of those, and he maintains that they did nothing wrong. So that pretty much tells you everything you need to know about the channel. But
gotcha.
But yeah, he Captay, funny enough, actually went on his stream and debated him. But
how'd that go?
It was hilarious, as you would expect. But he basically he's a Spider-Man fan that is very, very critical of the game. He's not bad faith as Kyle, but it's basically the same grift. He exists in that area where he is hypercritical of the game. He'll often call the developers lazy. You know the usual
lazy dev.
Yeah, that
from somebody that doesn't know anything about it.
Yeah, the usual thing. So it's unfortunate. You're gonna see these takes all the time. Like it's always the advanced suit is bad. Insomniac doesn't know what they're doing. Where's the Raimi suit? Insomniac, I lost faith. There's always these takes always pop up, and then the next Insomniac game comes out, and everyone forgets about it, and then they find something new to hyper fixate on, to complain about, and then the game comes out and pretty much everyone loves it, and then when they're bored, they find something new to fixate on until the next game. It's over and over again.
I feel like sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I feel like
I'll allow it.
I feel like we should hold him to this. I feel like this is the last straw. I mean, he's not allowed back.
Well, last straw. So no more. So when Marvel's Wolverine comes out, you're not going to be playing it. You're not going to be covering it. You're done, right? No more supporting Insomniac, right? It's over. Right? Is that how that works? Usually when someone says it's the last straw, that's it, right? No more working, no more covering Insomniac games, no more. Fair enough.
That's the tweet. I feel like we should hold him to this. Last straw, you're out. Can't come back.
Yep. When
see ya.
When Marvel's Wolverine comes out, you don't talk about it. You don't play it. It's over. Last straw.
The grift is up.
Yeah, it's over. Last straw. You said it. No more.
Your words.
More. If that rumor of a Spider-Verse game ends up being a thing, last straw. Nope. You said it. You don't play it.
It's also a misogynist. Shocker.
I can't speak to that, but I've watched, Joseph Whitty reacts to his videos sometimes, and I particularly watched. I think I watched one, and I got like 10 minutes in. I forgot what Spider-Man video it was, but I got 10 minutes in, and he said something so incredibly stupid that I just turned my computer off.
Joseph Whitty or the other guy?
Lucas.
Okay. I literally have no idea who this guy is. So I just saw that, like, I think Jazzy Butters retweeted it, and I'm like, okay, well, the fuck is that? All right, you're out.
Yeah, okay. Like, everyone, because we're in a period where the Insomniac game has already come out, and we're waiting for the next thing. That's where these takes start popping up.
Yeah,
it's like, now I'm never going to no. You're going to be right back. We all know. But if you want to state it publicly, I mean, by all means, we'll hold you there. But realistically, all the people on Twitter and whatever complaining about Insomniac saying, "Oh, this is woke," or "Oh, they suck now," or "I'm not going to buy it." They're going to buy Wolverine.
Yeah.
As soon as Sony announces a new showcase and there's a Wolverine trailer or whatever, they're going to be coming in their pants. when pre-orders go live, they're gonna have themselves the deluxe edition, the collector's edition. Like it's going to be the same shit all over again.
Yeah, and they're gonna have the Timberland boots that Wolverine wears.
Yeah, they're gonna I'm just thinking of what suit are they gonna bitch about that has to be in the game.
They're gonna bitch about the one where Wolverine's wearing the Carhartt jacket, and you can buy it from Carhartt.com.
The card. He's gonna have
It's durable.
He's gonna have the North Face coat.
No, what's the Canadian Goose? Isn't it like some like Canadian jacket that's like popular? Like Canadian Goose or something like that. I don't know.
I don't follow Canada. It's not a real country.
Well, I thought you were gonna go. I don't follow white person shit.
No, just Canada. Just
fair enough.
Just Canadian fashion. No, thank you.
Yeah,
it's not real fashion. Now, I'm sure people are gonna be like, well, you gotta have the iconic yellow, you gotta have the yellow suit, and gotta have this one. And it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, well,
you're buying the game anyway, so.
Yep. I hope they do. It'd be so Wolverine though to do something like with like Carhartt or like some like Red Wing boots or something.
Yeah, any sort of product placement is going to be like, I'm just waiting, just a slight hint of anything. They're going to look for a reason to hate on Wolverine. They're just going to fight. They're going to look for something, anything.
He's going to like be eating poutine or something.
I'm like, what is he? Wolverine would eat that. Woke, it's woke. Shut the fuck up.
Canadian whiskey.
Not the Canadian whiskey.
He's gonna be drinking Crown Royal. Is that Canadian?
Canadian whiskey is juice or maple syrup.
Yeah. 13 best Canadian whiskeys to drink in 2023.
Is that the actual thing?
Yeah.
What's number one?
They're not actually numbered.
That's a terrible list.
I know.
The literal premise of a list is that you organize things in a list.
Crown Royal is Canadian. Hold on. The best overall 40 Creek Confederation Oak at Drizzly, $55.
That definitely does not sound like something Wolverine would drink at the Princess Bar.
Yeah.
In Madripoor.
Well, I mean, that's they don't have Madripoorian whiskey listed on Google.
Pretty sure Wolverine would just order a beer.
Probably. He'll have a Labatt's or
he'll
something like that.
Just say, give me a beer, whatever's on tap, and then proceed to beat the shit out of
everybody,
the guys that are coming at him. That's it. Maybe I guess I could see him down in some vodka. Something hard, something that can take paint off a car. With not a lot of flavor. But yeah, I don't see Wolverine drinking anything that has too many syllables or accent marks. He's too manly for that. But yeah, I don't care. So we'll see. Maybe I'm guessing Jay just started a war with the content creator.
Well, it wasn't directly at him, but I'm sure somebody will snitch tag him or something.
Yeah, maybe this will be your next viral tweet.
Nah, whatever. I don't care. Like I said, don't know anything about this person.
I'm sure you will learn in the coming days. now you open this can of worms. But
watch, like literally, Arcade liked it. I saw, and probably he'll be the only one.
Yeah, I legitimately don't. Yeah, when it comes to like the spider YouTubers, like especially the ones that I know for a fact were like deep throating the game and aren't and immediately turned on it once they didn't get a free copy. I just don't take any of it seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I did a freaking like ad video for Armored Core, and they didn't even give me a copy of the game, and I didn't bitch about it.
You should have. They should have gave you a copy.
They should have. It's weird. They asked me to do this video. I did it, and I don't regret it. It was hilarious.
It was, but you literally used your JayShockblast platform to promote Armored Core.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, they used me in their video.
If they had given you a copy, it would have been nominated for Game of the Year.
I talked them out of it though. That's the thing. Like, because they asked how much I was gonna die. I said all the times, like I'm gonna die in the loading screen, and they're like, "Ooh, we don't want this guy." It's funny. We'll laugh at him, but don't give him the game.
Nah, I feel like that's kind of the whole point of games like that. You're supposed to like die a bunch of times.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah, it's their loss.
It is whatever. I think I have. Hold on. I have the great. The best face ever. I love it. I don't care. Like, this is one of my favorite things to come out of this year.
Yeah, that face is outrageous.
I was absolutely. I'm literally wearing the same hoodie too. So
it looks like you walked into the wrong porn shoot.
Right.
It's like oof.
Could have been at the White House. I don't know if you heard about that.
Which incident? We're getting into politics. So
I don't know. I just heard something about like some staffer getting caught filming a gay porn.
Oh yeah. That's the latest I heard. Yes. This current staffer filmed himself, either himself getting plowed up the butt or butt plugging someone else.
Yeah, I didn't go past that, but yeah.
Anyway. I had no interest in watching the video, so I was like, "Oh, okay." So yeah, so someone new breaking news: people fucking the White House or the Senate. I think this was in. I think the big hit was. I think the White House controversy was the tap dancing shit that because it looked like something you'd see out in Hunger Games.
Oh.
And this one was about the Senate because they were doing it in the congressional area.
Yeah, that's what it was. That sounds right. Like I said, I read it in passing. I was like,
yeah. Basically, I saw people saying, but January 6th. But you know, the people are trying to connect to January 6th, like, the people they call going into Capitol insurrection, but you can butt fuck there. You know, it's not a problem. Like, kind of a reach, but
yeah,
I take your point. No one really respects the Capitol, especially not the people who work there.
Yeah, that we're going down a rabbit hole there that I am all set with.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing up the butt sex, Jay.
You know, it seemed appropriate.
It always does. Jay, if I had $1 for every time Jay brought up congressional butt sex on this podcast, I'd have enough money to buy Alan Wake 2.
Well, there you go.
And I still wouldn't because I don't want to. I'm sure it's a fine game. I don't want to play it. I'm just waiting for Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Or redacted as Jay refers to it as.
Redacted.
Because he's not allowed to talk about it. Well, I think we can wrap it up. I'm curious to get back on Twitter and see all the beef Jay is about to.
Literally none. Absolutely nothing.
It's coming. But appreciate everyone hanging out on Twitter, which we will never refer to as X, Twitch, and YouTube. Thank you all of you once again. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, send Jay butt sex videos. You know, the usual stuff. We'll catch you next week. Hopefully,
don't do that.
Hopefully, no one else gets ransomware. In the meantime, you know, Christmas is coming up, so there's going to be a lot of people taking breaks or what have you. So, if we don't see you, then you know, happy holidays, and you know, be safe out there. And
Yes.
especially if you're, having butt sex, do it responsibly. I'm Sadot the Gamer.
I'm Casual
No,
Avenger.
you're not.
I guess I'll be JayShockblast.
I'm
It's
Casual
disappointing for all of
Avenger.
us.
I'm Casual Avenger. Damn it. I still can't get the voice. I don't know how he does it, but I'll figure it out one day. Zip it up and zip it out. Butt sex.